So I'm pleased to be joined with Joel Vaughn. You are a worship singer, musician. Listeners are familiar with your music here on CHVN, and you're actually coming to Portage, Prairie, and Winnipeg this week. So we're going to be chatting about that. But maybe if someone's not familiar with your story and kind of your music journey, how did you even get your start in music?
I got my start in music way, way, way back in the year of our Lord, 1993. So I was a small kid then. I was 7 years old, and I started singing in the church by doing specials and that sort of thing. So like back then, you would bring a cassette tape up to the front and they'd put it in the little player or whatever. They'd press play. It'd be in the wrong key, or the tape would get eaten up, and then you would just roll with it. So that's how I unofficially got my start. And then I started leading worship with my brother when I was a teenager in Texas. And it kind of grew from there. I met my wife in 2003. We didn't get married in 2003, but that's when we met. And we started kind of regionally touring together as a worship group, as a part of a ministry. And it kind of, everybody kind of, their paths went a different way. So a lot of the guys that were in that band and in that ministry, they went off and did their jobs, and my wife became a teacher. And then eventually I wanted to continue music. So I was a worship pastor at a church for a while. And then I started writing my own music really when I was a kid, but I really started writing uh in around 2000, well, 2003 to 2007, that whole mark. And then released my first album in 2007, and nobody heard that one. It was just like a burned CD that I made 100 copies of, and like gave it out to all of my friends. I think I tried to sell them for $10 a pop. And then things just kind of grew from there. I signed my first record deal, my first signed song in 2015, and my first record deal in 2016. And we moved to Nashville, Tennessee that year, and just been going, going, going ever since. So.
And what has it been like kind of getting to live that dream? Like you said, you started as a kid and now you're kind of doing what you wanted to do as a kid. And yeah, like, is that like surreal for you, or what's that like?
It's it's surreal, but it's also, my journey has not been one where it's like it was not an overnight success kind of thing. It wasn't a thing where I my dog is scratching at the door now. It wasn't a thing where I just like started and then boom, I was on a tour bus. That took a long time for me to get to that place. So I think the surreal part for me was I was doing a festival. It was either, well, I did two festivals in 2017, and I realized, oh my goodness, this, like, one of the biggest Christian bands ever right now at the time was For King and Country, and I'm playing on the same stage as those guys. Like, I'm not opening for them, but like I'm playing on this stage. And I remember, funny story, side note, that night. So I played, and then another artist, David Dunn, and then Casting Crowns, and then there was For King and Country. So I was going back to craft services, which was backstage, and this is my surreal moment. So I went in to get a banana because there was like nothing left. They'd cleaned house, and I was like, ah, banana, I'll just eat this. And then I noticed like it was really dark backstage. Like there's an outdoor stage, and I'm at craft services, which is behind it. There's nobody there. It's like a ghost town. So I'm eating my banana, and I look over to my right. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Suddenly, boom, lights, and then it goes dark. And I was like, oh, the show's starting. Oh, this is cool. It's For King and Country. And then boom, lights. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then suddenly I'm standing there with my banana, and then this cloth just drops, right? The cloth drops, and I see 70,000 people in a field, and I'm standing here with a banana, and I'm like, I am not in the right place. And that's my surreal moment. That's when I was like, hey, I've kind of sort of made it onto the wrong stage.
You made it while you're eating a banana, you got to do what you got
That's
to
great.
do, right?
It was great. I don't even like bananas. It was the only thing available. Got me in the
But
wrong place, the wrong time.
but there you go. And one of your songs that listeners are familiar with is called Where Grace Begins. So I'd love if you could kind of share maybe the heart behind the message that you hope that they take after they hear that song.
Yeah, so I wrote that song just kind of about my journey through life. I went through a period where I walked away from music just to get my head on straight and to draw closer to God, and to just become a better father and husband. And I didn't feel worthy to be a songwriter or worship leader or anything that had to do with ministry. So I stepped away from it to find out who I was aside from Joel, the musician, Joel, the worship leader, and all that. I wanted to know who Joel, the person, was and who God says I am. And I had worn a lot of shame and regret and pain from my past for the longest time. And albeit, there were things in my past that I had done that like I had to work through, that there was like anger and there was just other sin issues that I had to deal with, but I also had to come to grips with like I can't save myself. I'm not the one who makes my salvation happen. That's Jesus Christ. And so we have to lay all of that stuff down at the foot of the cross, at the feet of Jesus, where grace begins. And so that's the perspective I was writing it from. And it was just kind of a looking back at where I had been and where I am now and how God has worked through my life. So that's what it's about.
And you're bringing the Where Grace Begins tour, like I said, to Manitoba. You're going to be in Portage La Prairie on Thursday, Winnipeg on Friday. This is your first international tour. So what are you most looking forward to, maybe leaving the States, but coming to Manitoba specifically, and maybe not coming at the best time? We're supposed to get a winter storm, but get the full Manitoba experience.
I think I'm looking forward to a Tim Hortons visit. I don't know. That's a lame answer. No, I'm really excited to get to meet the people, because there are a lot of stations that have played my music in Canada for a long time, and I've never had the chance to come up and visit, and it just seems like a total God thing that it all worked out and came together. We're actually going to Saskatchewan after I think Portage is first, either Manitoba's first. I don't remember. I should remember this, but we're going to Saskatchewan the following night on Saturday. And so we're going to get like the whole experience of the winter storm there and back. I am familiar with winter weather. I know it sounds crazy living in Tennessee, but I spent a lot of time in New England in the Northeast. And last year we survived the negative 42-degree blizzard. That was a nightmare. But we made it, and it's good. So I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't look too bad. The winter storm doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty average for right? Pretty average for you guys.
Yeah. So there you go. You're just gonna get eased into it. Hopefully, last year.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward to meeting all you guys and just sharing my songs with you.
And, if someone wants to stay up to date just with your music journey, any new projects that you have in the works, where's the best place for them to follow along?
You can follow along on Facebook. It's about to start to get really active there. We're releasing a new record unofficially. I can say unofficially right now is March 7th. I have a new single coming out January 3rd, and I can't tell you the title yet, but it'll be announced on Facebook. So facebook.com/Joel Vaughn Music, or my website, www.joelvaughnmusic.com. That's the best. Oh, and Instagram. I'm always on Instagram sharing there. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to have you come to Portage La Prairie, come to Winnipeg, and just come to Canada and hopefully get into Tim Hortons a few times as well.
Yeah, it'll be sick. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait.